ఓకే అండి, నేను నాకు యాక్చువల్లీ లాస్ట్ ఒక వారంగా నిద్ర అంత సరిగ్గా లేదనమాట. నిన్నే కాస్త అంతో నిద్రపోయి తీర్చుకున్నాను. సో 8:30 కల్లా పక్కాగా ఆపేద్దాము. సో దానికోసం ఎక్స్టెండ్ అవ్వకుండా. సో అందుకని ఐ వాంట్ టు సీ ఏ ఫ్యూ చార్ట్స్. అందుకని ఐ విల్ స్కిప్ ద పరాశర PPH. ఓకే, విల్ స్టార్ట్. ఓం గణానాం త్వా గణపతిం హవామహే కవిం కవీనాముపమశ్రవస్తమం జ్యేష్ఠరాజం బ్రహ్మణాం బ్రహ్మణస్పత ఆనః శృణ్వన్నోతిభిः సీదసాదనం. ఓం శ్రీ మహాగణాధిపతయే నమః. ఓం వృషభం చర్షణీనాం విశ్వరూపమదాభ్యం బృహస్పతిం వరేణ్యం. ఓం తద్విష్ణోః పరమం పదం సదా పశ్యంతి సూరయః దివి వచక్షురాతతం. ఓం శ్లీం ధీం జ్యోతిర్బ్రాహ్మాయ నమః. Can everybody say Hare Ramakrishna after me 3 times? Om Hare Ramakrishna, Hare Ramakrishna, Hare Ramakrishna. So today we are not going to do BPHS. We'll do in the next class. I think we'll probably finish all the 12 houses in the next class probably. Today we will just do some charts. So Seshu Garu, you have a question about one chart. We'll first finish that because that's a closed-ended thing. We'll take up the other things later.
May 29.
Are you sure of the data?
Yeah.
Okay,
May 29, 1982.
1982. Okay.
2:39 a.m.
2:39 a.m.
Maywood, Illinois.
Maywood.
Actually, it's a.m.
a.m. Okay, sorry. Illinois, right?
Illinois.
Maywood, Illinois. 2:39 a.m. Okay. So the data is May 29, 1982, 2:39 a.m. The time zone is 5 hours west of GMT. The place is Maywood, Illinois, US. It is 87 degrees 50 minutes 35 seconds west and 41 degrees 52 minutes 45 seconds north. So Meen Lagna, right? Okay. Meen Lagna, Simha Rasi. Okay, good. So
we looked at health, career, family, marriage, children.
Okay. And you were satisfied that the chart was reasonable?
Reasonably, everything is okay.
Okay.
Only thing is in Dasamsa we had one question.
Okay.
And then I suggested him to wear
Pushragam. For what purpose?
For specifically for health. He is in the hospital right now.
Okay.
He is having some mental affliction. And the affliction he is actually finished his finance law. He has finished degree and post degree and everything. Then he started doing bachelor's in medicine.
Okay.
And which he is not completing. It's going up and down. And
so he finished, just for the recording, so he finished, he did some degree in finances, but later he wanted to do medicine, and then in the middle he did not finish it, right? And now he has some mental instability, and he is in the hospital right now. So Seshu suggested wearing yellow sapphire to him, and he wants the class to see if that recommendation makes sense to the class also. And also he had a question on the Dashamsa. He looked at Navamsa and other charts, and he was basically satisfied with them.
we both discussed it.
Okay, a couple of students discussed, and they are happy with it. But Dashamsa, they have a question. So we'll look at the Dashamsa, and then we'll see if yellow sapphire is a good recommendation or not. So in Dashamsa, the uncertainty we have is 1 minute 4 seconds earlier. If the time is 1 minute 4 seconds earlier, the Lagna will change from Meena to Pisces to Aquarius. So, are you sure that it's not below 12 degrees?
Yeah, it's possibly not, because we went to D30.
Yeah.
In D30 he is currently hospitalized.
Yeah.
And that is the only chart which tallied with his current hospitalization.
Okay.
And if we change...
And D30 changes if you go below 12 degrees. Okay. So based on some other charts, like specifically Trimsamsa, Seshu thinks that this time is right. So let us go with Pisces, but if something doesn't make sense, we can combine both of them and reconcile. Combine Trimsamsa and Dasamsa and try to reconcile. But if it makes sense with Pisces, we can move on. So what is the question?
The only question is close to completing medicine.
Yeah.
But we have told him that he will get married in the next year, and this year he will get settled in a job.
Okay.
Right now he is running Sun Jupiter in Vimsotari, but next he will run Sun Saturn.
Okay.
And Jupiter being in the one house, in the 10th house, and along with the Saturn there, we predicted that he will get his job in Saturn Dasa this time, Saturn Antar Dasa. So that career will be coming from Jupiter oriented or with Saturn Jupiter oriented aspects. It doesn't indicate any link to medicine. So
Right.
we concluded that he might take up a career in finances, teaching, or something like that.
Right.
So that's not fully convincing.
Right.
Maybe that's
So basically what you are saying now is you are not in trouble explaining known past, and there are two cases. One is you already know something about a person, you look at the horoscope, it doesn't make sense, and you wonder what is going on. This case is you are actually making a prediction about future, but it doesn't seem very plausible based on what he is doing now, so you are concerned. Right? The bottom line is his career is just starting. So if you see a particular career but the chart shows something else, you shouldn't really worry too much about it. Who knows, this person may actually end up being a teacher or end up in some routine job. You never know, right? So if you look at actually 2nd house, 6th house, 10th house is quite strong. There are two planets, though both of them are retrograde, two planets are there, and one of them is the lord of the planet itself. So definitely there is a strong chance of career in teaching, like you were thinking, or even some field shown by Jupiter. But it does not seem very likely based on this combination that he will be a doctor. So he may be studying medicine, but he may or may not work in that area. It is we should not be too worried about that. Only thing is, have you rectified Chaturvimshamsa, D24? Are you satisfied with his education?
Yes.
You are satisfied with D24. Then if you are, the thing is D24, I believe.
But again,
D24
here
is
6th house is 6th house owned by Sun, right?
Right.
6th house also is a kind of service. So Sun represents medicine, and then he's with Venus.
Whose dasha is going on right now?
Sun Jupiter.
Sun Jupiter dasha. Okay. And Sun Jupiter is going and Sun Saturn is about to start. So that's a very good point. So the thing is, like he said, the 6th Lord Sun, even though 6th house is not very strong, 6th Lord is reasonably strong. 6th Lord is with Venus. But the thing is, if you compare Sun and Jupiter, Sun is in an inimical sign. Sun is in a sign of Venus, and Venus is strong there. And Venus is not really a planet who shows work in this chart. He is the 3rd Lord in the 3rd house, 3rd and 8th Lord. He shows breaks in the work, instability, etc. Also could show some contract work. Because he is with an enemy, in an inimical sign, Sun is not strong. So basically there is a potential for taking up a medical career, but there is not, that planet is not very strong, so the career may not be strong. So there is a chance that he will try medical career, but eventually he may be moving on to something else. For all you know, he may be settling down as a teacher or professor, or some kind of teaching profession is more likely given the Saturn-Jupiter combination in Sagittarius.
I have read one Dasamsa article from Sri PVR. In that it says, if it is a fiery sign, then the results come easily and if it is an Aries sign, then sort of we need to like buy through the obstacles. And watery sign, it comes to Guru and Burasi, lot of effort in it.
Lot of effort.
So since Sun is in a Burasi, maybe try till the end of Sun Dasa, and then eventually Jupiter, Saturn, he may teach the medical thing he learned, maybe doctor.
That is quite possible. Either medical or even finances. Jupiter and Sagittarius both can show financial things, financial matters. So there is also a very strong chance that he will be teaching finances. After doing the medical degree, he will go back to finances, or maybe he will combine both of them, combine the knowledge of finances and combine the knowledge of medicine and find a niche area basically. But one thing you can say is, he will be successful. He will have a successful career.
How can we attribute A8 being with Jupiter and Saturn? Like, will there be problems, or does he need to work hard?
Okay, that's a very good point. So his point is, A8 is in 10th house with Jupiter. In general, A8 being in the 10th house, is it good or bad? In general, it's not a great thing. A8 is in the 10th house. So it shows some changes in the career, some disturbance in the career, instability in the career. But if you take from AL, if you see the relationship between AL and A8, A8 is in a Kendra from AL. Again, is it good or bad?
With effort, it's good. Yeah.
Right, but the thing is, we are not talking about an auspicious Arudha, we are talking about A8 Arudha, 8th house Arudha, which is instabilities in the, big changes and instability in the career. So that, being well placed from Arudha Lagna, there is a good harmony between his image and also the tangible obstacles. So it is not very auspicious. But the good thing is, as far as Jupiter being in the A8 is concerned, Jupiter being the lord of A8 in the A8, he is basically a good planet. You don't see the functional benefic or natural benefic nature of the planet, functional benefic or functional malefic nature of the planet from A8. It is from Lagna. From Lagna, Jupiter is Lagna Lord and 10th Lord in the 10th house giving Hansa Yoga. He is a strong planet. He wants to give good career to this person. Being in A8, he can either give, A8 can either mean sudden rise, sudden unexpected opportunity, or it can also mean a big fall. It can mean either of them. Here, with a good planet being in A8, what he will give, what Jupiter wants to give is sudden good breaks in the career. Suddenly things happening. Also he is the lord of A9. If you see A9, the Bhagyapada, it is in Lagna. When A9 is in Lagna and his lord is also associated with A8, he is very likely to give a sudden blooming of fortune through something he did not expect. When Jupiter gets control. On the other hand, Saturn being in A8, is it good or bad? He is the one of the significator of 8th house. He shows struggle, hard work, and he is Badhakesha. Badhaka Lord is never good. So, as a matter of fact, here Saturn-Jupiter combination is not that good. Jupiter himself is good, but being with Saturn is not so good for him, right?
Right.
So, when Saturn gets control, when Saturn's results are...
Why Badhakesha?
Oh, why did I say Badhakesha? I didn't say Badhakesha. Functional malefic, I meant. He is a functional malefic. Saturn is a functional malefic. And especially he owns the house of losses.
Right.
So, he is not such a good planet. So, when Saturn's results are being given, which is actually in Jupiter Antardasha, during that time, things are not very auspicious. He can give the negative indications of the A8. But when Saturn is giving the results, he will give Jupiter's results, and those are the positive indications of A8. So, there can be a suddenly unexpected good development in career after April 27, in the next 1 year basically, before next April. And in general, later also when Saturn's periods come, when Saturn Dasha comes or when Saturn Antardasha comes, things will be auspicious for him. How is Moon Dasha? It is coming soon. How is Moon Dasha for him? It's not so great. Why? Because he is the 5th Lord, very important planet, but in the 8th house, in Manakaraka Sthana. He is in A5, showing recognition, but at the same time with UL, showing some compromise, some loss. So, it's a so-so dasha. So, it's likely that he will struggle for this person, will not easily settle down. Looking at the dashas that are going to come, but Mars dasha, how is Mars dasha? How is Mars dasha? He is the 9th Lord, and he is with the 7th Lord and 4th Lord Mercury. And being a functional benefic, in the second from Arudha Lagna.
Right.
That is a good placement. So Mars Dasha will be good, but for another 12 years or so, things are not so good for him. So he may be struggling a little bit. Unfortunately, Jupiter Dasha is coming very late in life. But even though Jupiter Dasha is coming late in life, Jupiter Antardashas will be coming now and then, and Jupiter through his friends and through the planets on which he has some kind of control in this chart, he will try to give some good results. For example, in the case of Mars, Jupiter has an aspect on Mars. Jupiter and Mars are friends, and Jupiter happens to be the 10th lord and Mars happens to be the 9th lord, two important houses. And Jupiter has an aspect on Mars, 8th house aspect, 3/4 aspect. So Jupiter can try to exert his influence on Mars. So during Mars Dasha, some of Jupiter's results also will be given, right? Especially in Mars, Jupiter Antardasha. But overall, the next 12 or 13 years are not so good for him. So my expectation is, he will go through some instability in career and finally settle down a little late, and probably it will be related to teaching only rather than cutting bodies with knife.
Can we interpret in this way, like since Moon is a planet of healthcare, it is the 5th lord of recognition, being in 8th house and A5 and dual, can we think like, okay, he tries to get recognition in the healthcare field, and then he might think, okay, since dual is there, maybe if I can't compromise on the medical side and then look at the finances side, can we interpret like that's how we can change the field when it comes to Mars?
That is a plausible, that is a logical expression. You can interpret like that. Only problem is he has association only with the 5th house. He has an Argala on the 10th house, but his influence on the 10th house or 6th house is not that strong. He is basically the 5th lord. So 5th is basically recognition. It's not about the work that you do. The planets who show the work he does is Sun is the 6th lord, so he can actually try to put this person in a medical job as a doctor. Sun so during Sun Dasha there is a stronger chance for him to be trying for that. Whereas Moon, being the 8th lord, can actually, being in the 8th house, can show being frustrated because he is not getting the recognition he wants or getting the success he wants, and as a result changing the job. 8th house has to do with changes. So when Moon Dasha comes, probably in Moon Jupiter Antardasha or even Moon, there is a chance of switching over to some other career. So Moon is actually, I see Moon as the one who actually gives the change. But Sun is strongly being the 6th lord, and also he is with Venus. Venus is one of the important grahas for the medical profession. So being with Venus, Sun strongly wants to give him a medical career. So he is going for that. So switching to the teaching profession is unlikely in the Sun Dasha. But in Moon Dasha there is a likelihood of a change. Okay. Now, as far as
the three things suggested to him is to propitiate Sun.
Yeah.
Do Aditya every day or whatever.
Okay. Because Sun Dasha is going on.
Because Sun Dasha is going on.
And he is the Karka for health, and he is 6th lord here.
6th lord and
with the Badhaka lord. Actually that is bad. Okay.
So I only suggested the Sattvic way of propitiation, no gemstone for Sun.
Okay.
That will be bad. Gemstone for Jupiter is what I have asked them to use, because this boy won't sit down by himself and do things. He won't sit down and do the propitiation. He won't pray.
So he won't be able to pray. Okay.
So I said, just get him the Jupiter stone.
See, the thing is, Sun and Mercury, the 6th lord and the Badhaka lord, are together in the Rasi chart, reflecting the Arudha Lagna. So 6th lord and Badhaka lord reflecting Arudha Lagna is not so good for the overall health of the person, right? The tangible self, the health of the tangible self. Now, if you look at Trimsyamsha, unfortunately there also Sun and Mercury happen to be the 6th lord and Badhaka lord again, just like in the natal Rasi, in the Rasi chart, and they are reflecting Lagna directly, which is even worse. So in both Rasi and Trimsyamsha, Sun and Mercury are showing some problems. So Sun Dasha, Mercury Dasha, Sun Dasha, Mercury Antardasha, Mercury Dasha, Sun Antardasha, these are particularly of concern. So unfortunately he is running Sun Dasha right now.
Right.
So that is bad. Let's see the Shashtamsha. In Shashtamsha, Sun is the 9th lord in Lagna, which is better. Yes.
6th lord in 3rd house should be good, right?
Sixth Lord in third house is not bad at all. Sixth Lord in third house is good. But Sixth Lord is not alone in the third house. Or Sixth Lord is not with the 8th Lord or 12th Lord in the third house. He is with the Badhaka Lord. He is with the Kendra Lord. So,
since it is a Kendradipati dosha and with a malefic, then Mercury becomes a neutral planet.
yes. Mercury is a neutral planet because he is with a malefic planet. If you go to the basic of whether he is a functional malefic or malefic, Sun is a functional malefic,
Right.
and Mercury is also hence a functional malefic. But the thing is, even if they are functional malefics, their being together in the third house is not really a Viparit Rajoga. For Viparit Rajoga, what you need is the third Lord, sixth Lord, 8th Lord, 12th Lord, those Lords you need. Not the natural malefics, you need the functional malefics. So there, Mercury's being together with Sun is not a great thing. And secondly, he is Badhaka Lord. So for Badhaka Lord, whether he is in the third house, whichever house he is in, Badhaka Lord is Badhaka Lord. And unfortunately, they are in the Arudha Lagna. So both Sun and even for Sun, sixth Lord, even though being in third from Lagna is good for Lagna, as far as Arudha Lagna is concerned, sixth Lord in the Arudha Lagna is not a great combination. It may or may not give his full results. It depends on the Varga Chakras, etc. Not everybody with sixth Lord in Arudha Lagna or eighth Lord in Arudha Lagna has to have health problems in that particular dasha. You shouldn't jump to conclusion. But it is one negative contributing factor. And it is being intensified by the fact that the same Sun is the sixth Lord and with Badhaka Lord in the Trimshamsa Lagna. So he is bad. Now looking at Shashtamsa, it's not compounded because Sun is in Lagna, he is the ninth Lord. So he is not a malefic in the Shashtamsa, it's not compounded. But the problem is still the sixth Lord of the Rashi chart, he is in Lagna in the Shashtamsa. Still it is bad. But had he owned some bad house in Shashtamsa also, it would have been the worst. It would have been rank bad planet. But now there is some redeeming, but still Sun is a bad planet. So during Sandasha, particularly Sun, Mercury and Tadasha, there is a strong chance of health problems. Now, your recommendation. How do you get over the problems given by Sun? Actually, I think your recommendation is a good recommendation. Propitiating Sun is a great idea. Because he is so bad, you have to kneel down before him and say, please, please spare me. So, Aditya Hridayam or anything relating to Sun, any Surya Mantras are very, very auspicious. And apart from Aditya Hridayam, if he thinks it's too long, just the simple Ashtakshri mantra of Surya. Om Ghani Surya Aditya, Om Ghani Surya Aditya, that mantra. So that mantra can be done, Ashtakshri mantra of Surya. Or Aditya Hridayam is also very, very powerful. If you can do every day or at least every Sunday, it will be very effective. Or if somebody who cares about the person, if the person does also, it is good. Somebody who...
Parents can do it.
Parents can also do, yes. Father or mother can also do. But if he himself does, it is the best. But if he can't do, then definitely parents can do.
The second recommendation.
Sorry, for mental stability, the moon should be also...
Yeah. For mental stability, either moon or Mercury have to be afflicted. Because Mercury is the planet of the whole nervous system and the overall balance. He is the earthy element. Earthy element is the balance, the groundedness. So, Mercury has to be afflicted, or moon, the Manakaraka. One of them has to be afflicted. And here, like we saw, Mercury in Trimshamsa, he is the Badhaka Lord in the Lagna. You don't even have to look at Rashi. If Mercury happens to be a Badhakesha or 6th Lord or 8th Lord and afflicts the Lagna or afflicts moon or something, you can say that there will be some problem with the nervous system, some problem in the stability of the person. Now, that itself is enough. And
I was thinking like Sun and Mercury together. Like
so you are saying from the remedy point of view, instead of addressing just Sun, because he is not the only problem, so you want to actually include Sun and Mercury and give a recommendation. That is a very logical thing to do actually. Because if you look at this Rashi and Trimshamsa, Sun is not the only problem. Except that his Dasha is running right now, but Mercury is also a problematic planet. And as a matter of fact, during Sandasha, the results being given may be Mercury's results. So, definitely, given this combination, how is Mercury in Shashtamsa? In D6, again he is Badhaka Lord, he is in the second house, not too bad, but again he is Badhaka Lord. So, Mercury is Badhaka Lord in all the three important charts. and he is afflicting Lagna in one case and Rahu Lagna in the other. So he is of quite concern. So his suggestion is very, very good suggestion. Instead of just Sun, combine Sun and Mercury. And how can you do that?
Rama.
For Sun, one of the avatars is Rama Avatara. For Sun, one of the gods is Rama. And if you take Rama, he also satisfies Mercury because he is a Vishnu Avatara. So that's a very good suggestion. You can pray to, he can pray to Rama. For example, a simple mantra, the Amrita mantra of Ramachandra, Sri Rama Rama Rama, 7 letters. Sri Rama Rama Rama, Sri Rama Rama Rama, like that he can do. If he does that mantra also, it will be very auspicious.
Can you please repeat about Sun's 7?
Sun's Ashtakshari mantra, it is given in Surya Upanishad. The mantra is Om Ghruni Surya Aditya. Om Ghruni Surya Aditya.
Tension Adityom usually.
Well, some people can add Om at the end, but the actual mantra given in the Surya Upanishad is, he says Manu got this mantra from Surya. It has 8 letters. The first is Om, then is Ghunihi, 2 aksharas, then Suryaha, iti 2 akshare, then Adityaha, iti 3 aksharani. That is what the mantra says. So if you want, you could add Om at the end, but the actual mantra is Om Ghunihi Suryaha Adityaha. And it is in Prathama Bhakti. Guru, Gha, and then the Rukara as in Krishna or Rishi. Ghuni, Om Ghuni Surya Aditya. And Surya, you can do Sandhi instead of Surya Aditya. You combine them into one word, it becomes Surya Aditya. Surya Aditya. The Visarga will go away. If A letter, the vowel A comes after Visarga goes away. That is the rule. So Ghuni, Surya plus Aditya becomes Surya Aditya. But then you have to pronounce without a break. Some people say Om Ghuni Surya Aditya, then you are putting a break, then it's wrong. So it is either Om Ghuni Surya Aditya, or you split them into 4 different ones. Om Ghuni Surya Aditya. Then it will be a 4-worded mantra. 4-worded, 8-lettered mantra.
People also add the green. People also add green.
See, the thing is,
they are
all kind of variations are there. But the one given in the Surya Upanishad is this mantra. It is extolled in the Surya Upanishad. So I would recommend just Om Ghuni Surya Aditya. That's it. And one thing you will notice is many mantras are in the I pray to you. They are in the Chaturthi Vibhakti form. Ramaya, Om Gurave Namah, Om Krishnaya Namah, Om Vishnave Namah, like that. All in the Chaturthi Vibhakti. To you, I pray to you. But this mantra is not saying I pray or nothing. It is not saying to Surya. It is saying Surya. It just says Surya, Ghuni, Aditya. It is just declaring somebody. So this is a Prathama Vibhakti form. So this is basically just to give the strength of the soul, the inner strength to the being. That is the purpose of this mantra. So for health, this is a very powerful mantra. For health issues, for headaches or any kind of health problems relating to the Lagna or relating to houses owned by Sun basically. Sun signifies the Lagna. Sun signifies the 9th house. These are the houses and 10th house. So any weaknesses in these houses, you pray to Sun with this mantra, it is very, very powerful. So I recommend either doing that mantra or just the Sri Rama Rama Rama. It is called Amrita mantra of Ramachandra. Sri Rama Rama Rama. And as actually reading that mantra is supposed to be equivalent to doing Vishnu Sahasranama Stotram. That is what Sri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame, that shloka says. So you do this mantra, then you are satisfying Mercury as well as Sun and their combination. So suggest Sri Rama Rama Rama. If somebody can do 1 hour Sri Rama 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 every day, just sit down for 1 hour continuously, do Sri Rama Rama Rama. Take sankalpa mentally, if not in words, spoken words, at least mentally take the sankalpa that you are doing it for the well-being of this person, for the health of this person, and do it. Then there can be some improvement. Now, yeah, and as far as gemstone is concerned, of course, you don't want to recommend either emerald or ruby because those planets are quite malefic. They are troublemakers, so you only propitiate them. You don't wear their gemstone. And of course, for wearing gemstone, here Saturn and Mars, Jupiter and Mars are Jupiter, Mars and Moon. These are the 3 trine lords, important planets. But Mars is in a Badhaka, he is in the Badhaka Sthana with Saturn. 2 malefics are there and he is aspecting Lagna, so not that good. And Moon can be okay, but again not that good. He is fine actually. Being the 5th lord in the 6th house, he can carry the results of Purvapunya into the health of the person. But then if you look at Shashtamsha, he happens to be the 8th lord afflicting Lagna lord in the 6th house. So it's dicey. It will probably work if he wears moon, it will probably work. But Pearl is also not that recommendable. So the best is, and of course no diamond. Never wear diamond in this particular chart, even though he is Arul Lagna lord. The best, because he has bad significations in all Rasi, Shashtamsha and Trimshamsha. He will be terrible for the health. So Jupiter being the Lagna lord, he is badly placed in the 8th house, but he is after all the Lagna lord. He wants to rescue this person. So Pushragam or Pokhraj or Yellow Sapphire is a very good recommendation. So he can wear that. And which finger did you recommend it on?
Ring finger.
Yes. Wear it on the right hand ring finger. We want him to improve the health. So this is basically a dharma. The dharma of the person's body is to keep itself healthy and happy. So you are doing it for dharma, not for artha or kama or moksha. So it should be worn on the right hand ring finger. Then it will be good. And it should be in the gold, not in silver. Good. Wear it on some Thursday morning, soon after sunrise. Pray to Jupiter and wear it soon after sunrise. So all the best.
Can you see the Palana Devata for you?
Who? Palana Devata? Yes. Who is the Palana Devata? Mercury is the Amatya Karaka. Where is he in the Navamsha chart? Where is Mercury in the Navamsha chart? He is in Gemini. And who is the 6th lord from there? Mars and Ketu. Who is stronger? Probably Mars. Mars is in Jupiter's sign, aspected by Jupiter, and Mercury. So all the three are satisfied, whereas Ketu is alone. Not that Ketu minds being alone, that is how he prefers, but here, from the point of view of strength, Mars is stronger. So, and Mars is in Pisces. So which god can you suggest? Yes, Kartikeya is definitely one good suggestion. Kartikeya, Hanuman, Narasimha, which one will be the best?
Since Jupiter aspects from Shiva.
Jupiter is aspecting and also Mercury from one side is aspecting. Mercury and Moon are aspecting.
Do we always need to give female form for this when
Why?
it's a Paran Devata?
No, not necessarily. There is one theory like that, but the thing is, I don't think it has justification. The logic being, it is the mother who feeds you. But the thing is, when Sanjay ji taught that particular thing to, the thing is sometimes he teaches something which is taken out of context, and he also sometimes exaggerates, and then that becomes a rule. But if you ask me, at the time he taught this, he basically taught the Dasmahavidyas. He said Palana Devata should be one of the Dasmahavidyas. But there are actually lower forms of the mother which are for the specific purpose of taking care of your livelihood, keeping you materially blessed. Whereas Mahavidyas are not at all for that purpose. They are not for keeping you materially successful or keeping you materially well endowed. Their purpose is actually, if necessary, take away everything from you, but give you the highest knowledge, which is the knowledge of what is all this world, basically moksha, the Brahmagnana. So, given that is the purpose of Mahavidyas, suggesting Mahavidyas as Palana Devatas is actually not a wise thing to do. Mahavidyas, if you suggest actually Mahavidyas based on Ishtadevata, that is a very logical thing to do. Even though in our tradition we typically suggest Vishnu Avataras, again it's not necessary. Parasara mentioned all Devatas in the context of 12th house from Atmakarka. So all these rules like Vishnu's Avataras for Moksha, Ishtadevata, Devi's Avataras, specifically Mahavidyas for Palana Devata, these are not really with merit. These are one tradition basically, one convention, but it's just that, a convention. So you can suggest anybody, you can suggest Bagalamukhi here as Palana Devata, or you could even, Mars can also show Chamunda, a war deity basically. So Chamunda can be the Palana Devata. Or, pardon me?
Pratyangara.
Yeah, Pratyangara, absolutely. Pratyangara or Narasimhi, she can be the, absolutely, she can definitely be the Palana Devata. Or it can be Narasimha, or it can be Hanuman. And if you look at the influences on Mars, the influences are Mercury and Moon are aspecting him, and Jupiter is also aspecting. But he is in Jupiter's sign, so the influence of Jupiter is dominating. Right? So, probably associated with Shiva. So
Hanuman.
Actually Hanuman is a very good suggestion. Yes.
Rudra, right?
Hanuman is a very good suggestion. So his suggestion of Kartikeya, because he is associated with Shiva, is also good. But if I were to make a final judgment, I would probably pick Hanuman. So Hanuman, if he prays to Hanuman, he can take care of his material needs. And again, if he is doing Sri Ram Ram Rama, Hanuman is anyway happy. He doesn't need to specifically do any other mantra. So in my judgment, if he or somebody for him does Sri Ram Ram Rama for an hour every day, his material needs will be reasonably taken care of and his health will be taken care of. So that is the best course for him. Pushragam can help the yellow sapphire, but this will be more important. This will be more crucial. Because the leverage that Jupiter has on Mercury and Sun is limited. So by wearing his ring, he anyway has a desire to give you good health. He is helpless being in the 8th house. Now you wear his ring and make him strong. You say, please take care of it. This is basically like you have some enemies who are conspiring against you and doing something. They are in India, they are taking away your land, or they are doing something for you. And there is somebody who likes you, who wants you to be happy. You bring him and keep him in your house. Fine. What can he do? He doesn't have any influence over them. If he has influence, he can call them and say, hey, this guy is very important to me, please go easy on him. But Jupiter doesn't have a lot of influence on Sun and Mercury in this chart. So he can't really help that much. So it's a good idea, but not a great idea. Propitiation is a much better idea. Okay. So with that, we will end this particular chart. And all the best to this gentleman. And let us see the chart that Rajesh requested us to see. So can you give us the data, Rajesh?
Name Vijay Kumar.
Okay, name Vijay Kumar. Let me save it first then. Vijay Kumar. Oops. Vijay Kumar, Rajesh's example. Okay. Should I save it in classes?
The study examples are there.
Study example, okay. Study example.
September 10th, 1960.
One sec. September 10th, 1960. Oops.
It's around 7:59:84 somewhere.
7:59:84. Okay, we'll take 8:1. AM or PM?
A.
AM. Okay.
Devas India.
Huh?
Devas.
Devas.
DEWAS.
DGWAS. Devas, yeah. There are 3 Devas. Do you know which one by any chance?
MP.
MP. One is 22 degrees north, one is 28 degrees north, and 76 degrees east. They seem close actually. I don't know for sure. But in any case, we have 5-minute uncertainty. We will be rectifying that. So hopefully that will take care of this. We will rectify them together. Okay.
A lot of events too.
Okay. So we will take the first one. Madhya Pradesh, Machilipatnam is 16 degrees. So 6 degrees from it. 22.
Closer to Bhopal actually. Bhopal are closer to Indore actually.
Is it close to Indore?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try Indore then. Indore is 75:22. So probably 76:22 is the one. Let's go back to Devas. Yeah, this is very close to Indore. So let's take this. The other one is a little far. But it's in that area only, not much. It's not Madhya Pradesh, somewhere in Uttar Pradesh it is basically there, the other Devas. Okay. So the Lagna is in the 19th degree of Virgo, right? So the data for the audio is September 10, 1968. And the birth time given is between 7:59 and 8:04 a.m. and the time zone is IST, 5 hours 30 minutes east of GMT. The place is Devas, India, DEWAS, Devas, India. 76 degrees 4 minutes east, 22 degrees 58 minutes north. The Lagna is 18 degrees 36 minutes Virgo. Okay, let's save again. So he has a bunch of events. Let's say given time 7:59 AM to 8:04. What I will do is I will not type the events here. We'll just look at them. But if you can email those in a text form to the class, that will be great, so that they can all save in their chart.
And also,
Notes.
I have listened to the Jaimini Sutras, and in one of them there is like in 5th house there is in Navamsha Mars, Rahu and Moon. And I asked my father if he has done any karate, something like that, and he said no. So I just tried to like change the time to 8 30 seconds even, and there it also seemed cut. So actually maybe the doctor's watch is 5 minutes slow, something like that.
Okay, so you are not very sure if it is.
Yeah, but
Even
if
before
we
7:59
rectify
it could be, you are
the
saying.
Navamsa, it's fine.
For me?
If we rectify the Navamsa, then it should be okay. Then the timing will match. Like
Okay, we'll see. So give us the events. When was he married?
1982.
First of all, one second. What dasha should we use? Just Vimshottari, right? Okay. What are the events? Oops. I just want to see if there is something that stands out. Utpanna is 5. That's actually a strong contender. Okay. Lagna Vimshottari and Utpanna Vimshottari are strong contenders. But let us say we will stick to normal Vimshottari. Okay. Go ahead.
In 1982, June 2nd, he got married.
1982, June 2nd. This one I will note down. 1982, June 2, he got married. Okay.
In 1982 August, he almost got killed by a bus. I mean, he was boarding a bus, he fell down, his shirt just struck something and he was hanging between the tire of the bus and the road. The bus nearly went 200 meters something, and then people stopped it, and by the time the bus stopped, he was all bleeding.
Oh gosh.
So, major accident.
Major accident after marriage. Soon after marriage in August. Okay. So marriage and major accident happened in 1982. Now let us see. If you look at the Vimshottari Dasha,
There is moon.
August 82.
Yeah, August 82.
August end.
Shall I also tell about the business law?
Yes, we'll see. First let us stick to
Navamsa.
Navamsa, and then we'll go to the other one. First let us see if Navamsa makes sense. First we have to actually pick the Dasha also, because if you look at Utpanna Vimshottari Dasha or Lagna Vimshottari Dasha, either Lagna or the 5th star from Moon, they have 5 planets in Kendras, whereas Moon has 0 planets, and Moon is in the 8th house. He is in Manakakasthana, he is quite weak. Whereas Lagna, having Lagna Lord in exaltation, is quite strong. So, and the 5th house, 5th star is probably in Gemini, and that is also strong. But Lagna Vimshottari may, for all you know, be a better Dasha. We have to make a determination on that. So, first we will look at the marriage with the given Navamsa, then we will look at the given Navamsa and Lagna Vimshottari, then we will basically play around, and when we are comfortable, then we will go to the other one. Not having made a decision, but having favored one, we will go to the other event. So,
Moon, Venus.
until you see two or three events, you should keep your mind still flexible and open, not close your mind. But at the same time, we want to favor one thing versus the other. So let's see. Moon Dasha gave the marriage, right? Moon Dasha, Venus under Dasha. Does it make sense? With this Lagna? Not much sense.
So I just changed the Navamsa to Cancer.
If you change it to Cancer, Moon would be the Lagna Lord, he can give marriage. And what about Venus? Well, he is Karaka.
Right.
And he is the dispositor of...
In Navamsa is it Yokarka Mars.
in Navamsa? Moon, right.
Yeah.
Moon, right. Moon is Lagna Lord and Yokarka. Moon, no question. He is giving makes sense. But what about Venus? He is Karaka of marriage and he is the dispositor of Moon. So he can give marriage. There is a definite possibility. But with Gemini Lagna it doesn't make too much sense. With the Cancer Lagna it makes some sense. And how much leeway we have? 6 minutes.
Cancer has any link to
Pardon me?
UL, but Venus has no link to UL.
Venus has?
No link to UL.
Right. So,
If you change the Lagna, then
if you change the Lagna,
Not this. Okay.
he's saying you change the Lagna.
Cancer.
If you change the Lagna, then again Venus has nothing to do with UL, but he is the disposer of the Dasha Lord and he is Karaka. So there is a chance he is aspecting the 7th house. There are some...
in Rashi, Venus is the UL Lord with the first Lord. ninth lord.
In Rasi, Venus is the UL Lord and he is aspecting the 7th house. He is well placed in Lagna, he is the UL Lord and he is aspecting the 7th house. So there is some chance. So let us see the Lagna Vimshotri Dasha, just as an experiment. Both Utpanna and Lagna, they are stronger than Janma. If you see this, the strength helps. See 5 planets from Lagna, 5 from Utpanna and 0 from Lagna. So let us say Lagna, particularly Lagna seems strong, having Mercury and Venus in it, 2 benefics in it, having a Raja Yoga. So looking at this Dasha, when did he get married? 82. So he got married in Rahu Dasha. Which Antardasha? Rahu Ketu. So he got married in Rahu Dasha, Ketu Antardasha. Does it make any sense? Why?
UL has an Arkla Ketu.
Rahu is the UL Lord. UL is in the 9th house. If you look at Navamsha, UL is in the 9th house of Dharma. And Rahu is the 9th Lord and UL Lord. So in his Dasha, having marriage, it's not too nonsensical. Moreover, he is with Lagna Lord. Moon is actually a sore there. But
we haven't changed the Lagna in Navamsa yet.
No, we are looking at the existing Lagna.
He is not with the Lagna.
Pardon me?
Mercury is the Lagna.
Oh, sorry, not with Lagna Lord. Mercury is not. You are absolutely right. He is the 9th Lord in another. He is the 9th Lord with the he is the 9th Lord in a trine in the 5th house, and he owns the UL, so he has a decent chance of giving marriage. Now, how about Ketu? Two key significations he has. One, he is in the 7th house from Dasha Lord, right? He is in the 7th house from Dasha Lord. Of course, he is always in the 7th from Rahu, but Rahu didn't have to be the Dasha Lord. So he is in the 7th from Dasha Lord. Moreover, who is the 7th Lord in this chart? Jupiter. And he is with Ketu. And he is one of the Karakas. If you are not marrying because of love or something, but if you are marrying to continue your line, Ketu is the Karaka for that kind of traditional marriage. So Ketu being the Karaka and being with the 7th Lord, and of course they will exchange their results. So Ketu Antardasha can give Jupiter's result, right? So is there some chance of marriage in Rahu Ketu? Yeah. You should just take this Navamsa. If you don't change the Navamsa. Now, is it possible that he would have an accident or some mishap in Rahu Ketu? Do Rahu and Ketu have anything to do with the 6th house and 8th house, etc.? First look at Rashi, then we'll go to D6. In Rashi,
He is the 6th.
Ketu is in the 6th house and Rahu is the 6th Lord. Rahu is the 6th Lord and Ketu is in the 6th house. So Rahu Ketu having some problem, Rahu Ketu giving some physical problem is possible, right? Now look at Shasthamsa.
D16, right?
Pardon me?
We can narrow that
We
down.
can look at D16. Now the question may be,
Time since 1989, the Jupiter should start and maybe Jupiter should give better results, but the position right now is too bad, so maybe this Dasha I am not sure.
Okay, 1 second. So his question is, Jupiter Dasha has been bad. So you are wondering if this Dasha is actually working.
Yeah.
We will come to other events later. If we come, then we go back. So far we have, you know a lot about the person. We don't. We only know he got married in 82 and August he got an accident. So we will go by those. As we get more events, we will have to juggle the balls. But so far we have 2 balls, easy. Okay. So Ketu being in the 6th house and Rahu being the 6th Lord, okay, we said. Now look at the D6. And Seshu had an interesting point. He said, why don't we look at D16? We can, but the window is smaller, so let's tread carefully. And moreover, now question is, can D16 be applied? This is a bus. He is not driving a car or going in a car. He is going in a bus. Does D16 apply? For having an accident while traveling in a bus, is D16 applicable or not? What is your take?
It's not his own vehicle.
So is D16 about one's own vehicle?
Yes, anyway.
Only? Of course it is about one's own vehicle, but only. Is it not about using, traveling in a, if you are traveling in a public vehicle or somebody, a friend's vehicle, doesn't D16 cover it?
I think it covers.
It covers. Fourth house is basically the second house from third house. So it feeds the travel. So the thing is, it's the resource used in the travel. So if the resource is your own bus, not bus, your own car or government bus or a private bus, doesn't matter. Only thing is, if somebody is going to traveling by bus every day, his Vahana Saukya is probably not great. So if you look at A4, probably it's not, it has negative indications. It's a different kind of vehicle, but it is a vehicle. Vehicle doesn't mean you own it. Vehicle means something you use so that you can move from one place to another place conveniently. It can be a horse, it can be a dog, it can be a donkey, it can be a car, it can be a bus. So D16, for having a mishap while traveling by a vehicle, D16 is indeed an applicable chart. But let us look at D6 first. First, the person got so much blood. So it is a physical injury, physical wound is there. So D6 also should show it. Now, do Rahu and Ketu show an accident in D6?
They are in the 8th house.
Pardon me?
They are in the 8th house.
Yes. They are in the 8th house. If you look at regular moon Vimshottari, it was moon Venus, I think. Venus still running, right? Yeah. Moon Venus. Now, moon being the 7th lord in 8th house in D6 can give a big suffering. But Venus, well, he is in 6th house from moon, but otherwise from Lagna, he is Yokarka. So moon Venus doesn't really gel that well. It makes only some sense. But Rahu Ketu, does it make sense? Yes. Terrific sense. Why? Because Rahu is the second lord in 8th house. Maraka lord. Second lord in 8th is always a Maraka. He is very bad. And he is afflicting 7th lord and 8th lord there. Look at the combination there. 7th lord moon, 8th lord sun, both being eclipsed by Rahu, the second lord, Maraka. Ketu is Bahaka lord, absolutely. Bahaka is inexplicable worry. And also it can be a mistake, it can be something sudden. That is basically the nature of Ketu, something suddenly. So Rahu and Ketu are really hammering down moon and sun. It's a terrible combination in Leo there, in the D6. So Rahu Ketu giving this result is quite logical. Right? So far we are happy. Things are making decent sense. Now,
he got diabetes in 89 Jan.
Okay, we'll come to that. Just a sec. So he said D16. Let's say D16. Is there any chance of some problem while traveling in Rahu Ketu period? Well, let's just, because we have other events, we'll move on quickly. But the thing is, Rahu is the 6th lord. He is the 6th lord and Ketu is with the 6th lord. So there is some chance of some problem while traveling. Now let us see the other event. So he has another event. What is the event?
He got diabetes in 89 January.
Diabetes? Diabetes in?
89 January.
89 Jan. Okay.
And now he has severe throat problems and arthritis to all his fingers.
Severe throat
problem. I mean, that's since 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Throat problems, and now all his fingers on his hands and legs, they got arthritis, and like he literally cannot sign. I mean, he can sign with lot of pain.
I don't know the spelling of arthritis. I know this is wrong, but you can correct it later.
Since 2004, then he has trouble.
So,
yeah, with throat and all.
Since 1989 he has sugar, he has diabetes, but diabetes is a relatively common disease.
It's of the worst.
I know, but the thing is, I am saying, you need not see terrible combination from 89 itself. From 89, some bad indication is enough to justify this. But since 2004 or so, 2003, 2004?
Yeah, that's the time, 2004 something, he started taking insulin also.
Yeah, from 2004 or so, he started taking insulin, and he started having severe throat problems, and all his fingers have arthritis, to the extent that he can't even sign his name.
With pain, with lot of pain.
With a lot of pain he can sign. So he is suffering a lot right now. Does it make sense with the... Does it suffering from 89 make sense with this chart? That is the next question.
Should we see the part of the decana which corresponds to hand because it is so specific in this case.
Yeah,
That
sure.
is affected.
But we'll go to that later. But let us just see the forest. Then we can go for trees, etc. Trees and the leaves, etc. Let's just see. Can Jupiter Dasha actually spoil his health like this?
Except last 4 years, even this Jupiter must have started the problem.
And before we do that, because he likes moon Vimshatri better, let us compare with the moon Vimshatri also. Moon Vimshatri, the problem started in Mars Dasha, then 89.
Sure.
Towards the end of Mars, but mostly Rahu Dasha is giving all the problems.
Rahu, terrible.
Rahu is basically the 6th lord, he is with sun, he is badly affecting sun. So things are not good. Okay, that is one clear possibility. Now let us, because the other events are making very good sense with this, let us see if Lagna Vimshatri can also explain it. How are things?
Is a Barka Lord in Rasi.
Yeah. Jupiter is the Badhaka Lord in Rasi, but in Rasi he is with Saturn. So Jupiter and Saturn are exchanging results. So Jupiter Dasha is giving Saturn results. When all the problems started and it even started to worsen, during that time he was running.
But there is a Yokarka 4th Lord and 5th Lord.
Yes, they are giving a yoga also. Being the 4th Lord and 5th Lord together, they are giving a yoga. But at the same time, they are the 6th Lord and Badhaka Lord being together. So they can also give problem to the body. But let us see, because both are there, the yoga may be in some area and the bad results may be in some other area. So let us go to the D6. If you go to D6, how is Jupiter? What are the indications of Jupiter in D6? Well, he will give Mars results. He is the 3rd and 12th Lord, but he is in the 4th house with 4th Lord. Mars happens to be Badhaka Lord also, but he is the 4th Lord in 4th, right? So not too bad. There is some negative indication giving the results of Badhaka, but it's also 4th Lord in the 4th house, not terrible, right? So in Jupiter Dasha, having such suffering does not make perfect sense. Now let us go to Trimshamsa. How is Trimshamsa?
Jupiter is the Lagna Lord.
Jupiter is Lagna Lord. He is with the 9th Lord in the 2nd house. So if you use Lagna Vimshatri, all the suffering that has been inflicted on him does not make a lot of sense. But things that happened to him, like marriage, etc., made sense. So some events are making sense, but some events are not making sense. So what we can do is we can go back to the Chandra Vimshatri Dasha. Now one comment I want to make. We say that Lagna Vimshatri, Chandra Vimshatri both can be applied, but the thing is, are they really the same? Or do they focus on certain aspects?
One focus on mind.
What is Lagna and what is Moon? We discussed this long back.
Right.
What is Lagna, what is Moon? Moon is that with which the whole world influences you. Lagna is that with which you influence the whole world. It is basically two-way interaction. When a person thinks there is an I, that I, and he has the concept, the moment you have ego, immediately there is duality, I and the rest. So the way the rest influences I is through Moon. Moon is the window, that window. And the way the I tries to manipulate the rest, that is Lagna. So if Lagna is strong in a particular chart, the person is very individualistic and he is more oriented towards his actions and their consequences, what he wants to do in the world. So he is basically more individualistic. He is not that reactionary, whereas he is a strong independent person. If Moon is strong, he is more reactionary. But the thing is, irrespective of what dominates in you, the parts where you are reacting, the world is influencing you, the outside is influencing you. The Moon Vimshatri, the Chandra Vimshatri is indispensable, right? So what I am trying to say is, even in cases where Lagna Vimshatri dominates, there may be some areas of life which you see better from the Chandra Vimshatri. Okay? So let us combine both the dashas. Let us use both the dashas in this particular case. Now give us some more events. Now we need to With respect to Dasha, I think we have a decent idea of what to use. We'll use both the Dashas, but some more events.
In 1983 February, purchased.
Especially if you have a questions relating to one chart, one divisional chart, give us events relating to that divisional chart. Yes.
This about is Dashansa.
Okay.
1983 February, purchased a factory.
1983 Feb. Purchased a factory. Okay.
Father expired on 91 July 12th.
Father expired 91
July 12th.
July 12th. Okay. That's a very useful event. First, let us look at the factory.
Mine and my brother's date of birth.
Okay. We probably don't need Saptamsa.
Or with Dashamsa I can help you a lot.
Pardon me?
With Dashamsa I can give you some more events.
Yeah. But we have one event, so let us see that. Okay, give us some more events with the Samsa.
In 2000 had a severe crash in stock market. That's when we are trapped and still we cannot get out, and it's even taking deeper and deeper.
Okay. So finances basically, finances and business affected badly. Is that right?
Yeah, particularly in stock market.
Okay. So this is more of a Hora than the Samsa when you are talking about finance stocks. So he put stocks in money stocks, right? This is not relating to the company stock.
That stopped this profession from factory. Now factory is also sold. We don't have the factory.
Okay, so because of the loss, financial loss in stock market, he basically sold the factory. When did he sell it?
That's in 2006 time, from 5-6 times.
Sold factory in 2006, 2005-6.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1983 he purchased a factory. Was it running well in the beginning?
No.
Or it was always in trouble?
Always in trouble. In 98-99 it got us out and everything is fine. Then in 99 entered the stock market. In 2000 it got hold and
Worked out. 99 entered stock market.
Yeah.
Okay, this is actually plenty of data. Let us chew it.
Yeah, by 99 whatever we have invested in factory, we just
Okay.
paid everything.
So 83 he invested in a factory. By 88-89 he basically recovered all the money. Yes.
In May 2006, that is when seriously the problems are coming, and that's terribly bad since then.
Okay.
And right now it's the worst position.
Okay. Okay, so finances went really bad. 1983 he purchased a factory. By 89 it worked out. They got recovered all their money. 99 you said, not 80. I wrote wrong. 99. By 99 worked out well, and then they entered stock market then, and that proved to be the downfalling. There was a severe crash in 2000.
Is it on?
For me? Oh, it's not on. Why?
Voice now?
I turned it on.
Maybe is the battery weak or something?
Yeah, it's actually flashing when I press it again. I think the battery is weak. We are recording here. Do you want to stop and restart? Do you know how to? Fully. Intelligence, it has a mind associated with it, which perceives. So what happened? Oh, you turned the battery.
He got gold medal in MTech and BTech.
That may or may not be useful. We'll see. That is, if we are on a border which is helping with Chaturvinshamsa, which has a dependency on Chaturvinshamsa, then we will go to that. Okay, actually we have plenty of data on the Hora and the Dashamsa now. There is a link between his Hora and the Dashamsa also. So we should look at Hora and the Dashamsa. Hopefully Hora will be clear. Hora is, I think we have 3 degrees 35 minutes. So hopefully Hora, like now we can be confident of.
His Mars is on a border, just to remember.
For me?
Just remember, his Mars is on a, not Gandanta.
Jupiter is in Gandanta. Yes.
Yeah, Jupiter is in Gandanta. Padhaka Lord is in Gandanta.
Mars is in last center.
Okay, let us. Okay, so now the thing is, so actually that's a good point. Jupiter, in addition to being the Badhaka Lord and being with the 6th Lord, he is actually in Gandanta. So, being in Gandanta during the Jupiter Dasha, having severe health problems is actually quite possible. And also, if you look at diabetes, the Karaka for diabetes, the planet who can give diabetes when he is associated with the ill health related houses, he is Jupiter. He is the Karaka for diabetes. So, he is with Saturn. If Rahu is afflicting Sun, you will expect bone related problems. But if Saturn is the planet, Jupiter shows Kapha and Saturn shows Vata. So if arthritis kind of problems are more Saturn related problems rather than Rahu Sun combination. So actually,
Muscles, right?
pardon me?
Muscles also Saturn.
Yeah, muscles are also Saturn, but bottom line is the Vata,
Right.
it is basically a Vata condition, aggravated Vata condition. So, even,
By using Chandra Vimshatri dealing the Rahu and Antardasa, it's like more like a, he thought maybe I won't see, but he didn't tell me I was in US.
yeah,
But when I went home, he was like, oh, his health is so bad, and when I saw him, I literally like, right, why
okay.
didn't you guys tell me?
Hmm.
In 2006 May, the things got too bad, and I said I won't go to US, and I stayed back in India for 1.5 years. But then they said, okay, the thing you have to listen to what I said. So now I finished my master's, and I'll be going back.
You are going back now, okay. Okay.
I used to like get initiated into Vedanta.
Okay, we'll see the Dashamsha. Let us look at Moon Vimshatri also, but let us focus on Lagna Vimshatri and look at the Dashamsha and see if events make sense. So when did he start the factory? 83, right? 83 February he purchased the factory. From? Okay. So 83 February, what was the Dasha and Dasha? Rahu Venus. Purchasing a factory in Rahu Venus, does it make sense? Getting into a business in Rahu Venus. And let us see the alternative. If you look at Moon Vimshatri, what is the alternative? It was towards the end of Moon Dasha. Purchasing the company was towards the end of Moon Dasha. Moon Sun. Okay? So Moon Sun, does it make more sense, or what was the other one? Rahu Venus. Moon Sun or Rahu Venus. And moreover, what is the leeway we have here?
Chemical factory.
It's a chemical factory. Okay, very good. So he bought a chemical factory. But first of all, actually, let's forget the Dasha. Looking at the Dashamsha, let us see if this Dashamsha makes sense. 2 minutes earlier the Lagna will change, but 10.5 minutes later it will change. So it could be Libra also. So let's see Libra and Scorpio and see which explains his career. The bottom line is his career was as the owner of he was basically an entrepreneur, not a working man. He was an entrepreneur, and he was dealing with a factory, a chemical factory, and he had a lot of ups and downs. He had a lot of suffering in his career. He lost everything, and his career went to doldrums also. So there was a big fall in his career. Does Scorpio make more sense apart from the Dasha? Statically. Pardon me?
Libra makes more sense.
Why Libra? Why do you think Libra makes more sense?
Because 10th Lord in second house, 10th Lord is
10th Lord in second house is not bad.
not bad.
Yeah.
But 10th house is also disposing of, it's also disposing UL.
Yeah.
So it shows an investment. And
10th what disposing UL? UL will change. UL will become AL then.
Okay.
Aru Lagna in 10th house.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was thinking about investment before changing that.
Yeah.
In that case, with that logic, you have the 11th Lord in 7th house showing the
11th Lord in the 7th house
and 7th house
with the Scorpio Lagna. Yeah, 11th Lord in the 7th house. 11th Lord who gives gains, he is in the 7th house. Lagna Lord Mars is in the 8th house of gambling. So he will be a risk taker. So being an entrepreneur is possible when Lagna Lord is in the 8th house. The two is Mars. Secondly,
Saturn Mars can show a lot of struggle.
And now that's the struggle part. Now risk-taking part, Mars explains. And Saturn and Mars together in the 8th house is lot of ups and downs, not having a smooth ride in the career, right? And next, A3 is in Lagna. Again, A3 is the initiative of the person. That being in Lagna, that too a Martian sign. Mars is the Karaka of the 3rd house. So this shows a bold person who will take risks and who will invest, who will do things basically. So this is actually making decent sense as far as career is concerned. Now how about by the way, Saturn happens to be the 3rd lord also. So Lagna lord is with the 3rd lord in the 8th house. So all those things make sense. And suffering also makes sense. Yes.
So we are saying Rahu Venus time.
Rahu Venus time was a good time. He got a factory. He basically invested in a factory. It took him several years to get recover the investment, but he basically took a risk and invested money in Rahu Venus. Does it make any sense?
Seventh house, so it started business.
For me?
Bhoga falls in the 7th house.
Rahu Venus, yes. Rahu Venus, the Bhoga falls in the 7th house, yes. And overall, Rahu is the 4th lord, giving some direction basically. 4th lord's purpose is to give some direction in career. So being the 4th lord, he had to give some direction. And being in the 5th house of Purvapunya, he basically gave some direction. Some path was shown in the career. And he is in the 3rd from Arul Lagna. A malefic in the 3rd from Arul Lagna can give a bold act or something perceived as a bold act, buying a factory, investing. And Venus is in the 12th house from Lagna. Right. And he is in the 8th from Rahu. From the Dasha Lord, he is in the 8th house showing gambling, risk-taking. 12th.
Venus is
chemicals actually
it's a leather tannery factory. So Venus supposed to be from health giving chemicals. But this is a leather tanning factory, much more like you clean all the skin of cows and all. Export it to like Madras and Calcutta.
I see. I can't really put my finger say this is the planet, but my guess is probably Saturn or Rahu. They will be the Karakas. Probably not Venus in that case. But in general, Venus is the Karaka for chemicals. But his point is because this is a specific chemical for a particular purpose of cleaning the cow leather, it's basically more, it's not Venus definitely, probably Rahu or Saturn, one of them shows. But the thing is, Venus being the 12th house gives an investment, gives a either loss or investment. Basically, you are giving up something basically as far as your professional life is concerned.
Literally, at the point of buying, my grandfather and father went and they just bought, but afterwards they need to sell the house, everything, make lots of loans, ask people, and then buy the factory.
Okay. Venus is in the 8th house from Rahu, so he gives a big loan or risk-taking, etc. Bhoga in the 7th house, so his business took off during that time. So all those things make good sense. Now, the next dasha of Jupiter, it was a dasha when some good happened basically. In the Jupiter dasha, they started to recover their money, and in the middle of the Jupiter dasha or in the middle 1/3 of the Jupiter dasha, they got their money back, but then they took a risk with that money. They basically invested in stock market, and then they had to actually give up their business. Does that make sense? That is the tricky thing. Does it make sense? As soon as Saturn came, they had to give up their factory.
Yeah.
Right? Saturn giving a big blow in the career makes very good sense. Saturn is a functional malefic, 3rd and 4th lord, afflicting the Lagna lord in the 8th house. So Saturn giving a blow, for them having to lose the factory, etc., makes decent sense. But Jupiter giving a rise and making them recover their investment also makes sense. Why? Because Jupiter is
Saturn, 2nd lord, 5th lord in 8th.
He is the A9 lord, A7 lord, A10 lord, in A10 in the 2nd house. Only problem is, so for Lagna he is very benefic, but from Arudha Lagna he is in 12th house. For me? Saturn is well placed from the outer Lagna. Saturn is well placed from the outer Lagna, right? Saturn should be good for the material status of the person, right? Right. We'll revisit that point. That's a good point, but we'll revisit that point. But Saturn giving a fall, and Jupiter, he has mixed indications. One indication is he's a benefic in the second house, giving lot of money and resources in the career, giving lot of wealth in the career. That is there. But at the same time, being in the 12th from Aru Lagna, he shows a loss of image of the person. So there is a mixed indication.
Do you say loss of image can come from being the second lord from Saturn being the second lord from male also?
No, I'm talking about Jupiter right now.
I know.
Yeah.
But okay, this fall also happened.
He's just second lord and fifth lord. He's in the 12th from Aru Lagna. So in the Jupiter Dasha itself, he recovered all the money. He got money from his investment, and also he lost it. And it makes, if you ask me, it makes decent sense. And if you look at the Antar Dashas,
99 they recovered.
Yeah.
And then 2000 onwards they fell down.
so from,
Jupiter moon on this.
is it Jupiter moon that gave
No, way before
2000 May that time?
boom, it started crashing.
Oh, when was it? Was it in the middle of 2000?
2000, it was May 6th, yeah.
May 2000. That is when the big fall. So May 2000, in Jupiter's sun, there were problems. In Jupiter Dasha, Sun Antar Dasha, there were some problems in the.
Then in 1 month, Pentameter and Hexameter, Trigon and all that, from 3000 odd in 2-3 months, they just came to 100 rupees.
From some big price.
You can't even sell every day opening lower circuit. So
Yeah, okay.
it just got all.
Okay, that's enough. Let us see. In Jupiter's sun, losing lot of money doesn't make sense, and losing a lot of money and suffering in the career doesn't make sense.
A8, Sun is A8 and he is A6, owns A6 also.
Yeah, and let us actually quickly go to Hora also. If you go to Hora, because they you lost lot of money, but the impact of that on the career may or may not be immediate. The impact on the career may be coming after a few months also, after Moon Dasha comes. But the thing is, the financial loss should be clearly visible in the Hora chart. So let us look at the Kasinath Hora. The uncertainty we have is lot of time. So we are assured that this is right. Now, in Jupiter Dasha, the finances took off, but at the same time they fell also. Does it make sense? Now, can Jupiter Sun be lossy for the finances? Jupiter is Badhaka Lord, but he is also Hamsa Yoga, giving Hamsa Yoga. He is the 4th and 7th Lord. He has good indications, but at the same time he is Badhaka Lord. Okay? So in his Dasha, mixed indications are there, like we wanted to see. But specifically, the fall happened in Sun. Does it make sense? Yeah. His agenda is 12th, last. He is the 12th Lord. He is in the 11th house of gains. He is told, give gain, but his agenda is last. And he is afflicted. He is beaten down by the 6th Lord, Rahu, eclipsed. So especially actually in any chart, Sun and Moon being eclipsed is bad, but when you are talking about finances, it is really, really terrible.
And he also disposes A2.
Pardon me? Yeah, he is the disposer of A2. He is in the 12th from A2. So you can look at all the things, but more than A2, apart from Lagna, the other important difference is the tangible self, the material self, the actual wealth of the person. AL. How is Sun from AL? He is in the 8th house. So, pardon me?
It explains sudden change.
Yeah, it gives a sudden loss because of it. Sudden loss and a big change in the image of the person, as far as finances are concerned. But in the Dashamsa, he is not that bad. Of course, from the 7th house of business, he is in the 12th. He is in Mankarka Sthana. But he is not terrible. For business, he is bad. To interact with people, to do new things, he is bad. But he is not so bad in career. So the impact may have been felt in career a little later. But financially, this is really clearly showing. And especially when you have Sun Rahu or Moon Rahu kind of combination, it can be very sudden. It can be something totally unexpected. Rahu and Ketu give unexpected losses. in finance, or unexpected boost also. Either way, they are quite unexpected. They give quite unexpected results. So okay, and also okay, actually that's satisfying. So now the thing is, that was not the end of his financial mess. So you are saying that things became worse and worse.
After 2005, the first big collapse came in May 17th when government crashed.
Okay.
Then May 24th, 2006, and then right now it's
Started from Saturn.
in stock market. During the Jupiter Rahu in 2005 March something, things started okay. It's improving a lot, and again when government crashed on
Yeah.
May 17th, when BJP lost,
Right.
so the first time there is a huge loss in stock market after 2000, when we think we are recovering.
Yeah.
Then in 2006 May 24th, when things started okay thing, another terrible crash.
The government fell in 2004, right?
So then,
Yeah,
Not five.
Not
2005. BJP government fell in 2004. So you are saying that in 2004 there was another big crash in his financial position.
May something.
Yeah. In that case, that would be in Jupiter Dasha, that would be Rahu on that Dasha.
In 2005 October, things again start. 2004 May 17th it crashed a lot. Then by the time 2005 September, things started like improving. Okay.
Yeah.
Then 2005 October again it started a downturn.
Yeah.
2006 May it really collapsed. Right now,
2006 May is the worst time
worst time.
financially and professionally.
And health-wise,
Okay.
it gets all on.
Okay, fine. Yeah, my guess is there is a little bit of error in the calculation because Lagna is not fully rectified. So this Dasha which is getting over, Jupiter Rahu Ketu which is getting over on 17 May 2004, is probably a little this way or that way, a few days. Probably the second big fall happened in Jupiter Rahu Ketu. Because of the Rahu Ketu axis on the 11th house. Okay, now let us quickly look at the current period. So Jupiter Dasha, the rise and then the fall makes decent sense. So we are happy with the Lagna Vinchotri, which is Shayam. Now let us look at the current Dasha. In the Saturn Dasha, how things are. He is saying that in 2006, things actually became back to worse in 2006 May. So, and that is when he sold the company, you said? Or earlier?
Actually, we need to sell because of the stock market. And
Okay.
everything that we got from the company, it's like my Baba also have some shares.
His
He
uncle.
also gave everything to my father. Everything that is kept, we took around 3-4 crores, some people outside. Everything, tomorrow they will be selling all and we will be left with very little.
So, it hasn't been sold yet, but it will be sold.
It's sold. And all that money
But it will be formalized
in
now.
stock is gone.
Yeah.
And again we took 2-3
Oh, I see. You are talking about getting money from people and investing in stock.
that is factory money is lost by May around that time. Now from people we took that will be almost lost tomorrow or today. Today morning they will be selling in banks and other brokerages.
Okay.
We don't know how much will be left then.
Okay, so they are actually on a, okay. The situation is very dicey, but the worst happened around 2006 May, you said.
It started then, right now it's the worst.
Okay, sir, okay. So the final phase in this whole saga, it started in May 2006 and it is coming to culmination around this time, in a few days, in a couple of days. So that is the situation. And how is 2006 May? Again, it is Saturn, Venus, or could be Saturn, Ketu also. So bottom line is it is Saturn. So as soon as Saturn came, there was a big fall in the finances as well as in the career. And how, as far as finances are concerned, how is Saturn?
Saturn is the 6th lord.
He is a fifth lord also, but he is sixth lord. He is a neutral planet, but
The 8, the lord of 8 and
he is the lord of A8 and A9. He is the lord of both of them, and he is in Arul Lagna. In general, Saturn being in Arul Lagna, is it good for the image of the person?
no.
It is a bad thing. If he is in 12th, it is good, but if Saturn is in Arul Lagna, so it's not good for the image as far as finances are concerned. And if you look at the Dashamsha, professionally, Saturn, like we said earlier, he's in the 8th house, affecting the Lagna Lord, so he gives a fall. But her point is, he's in the 6th from Arul Lagna. He's a Saturn and Mars, both are two malefics. Even though they are fighting, there are two malefics in the 6th from Arul Lagna. So how is Saturn Dasha overall? Well, his agenda is to improve the status. And he is in the 6th house of fighting, basically.
11 should be there.
Pardon me?
11 marks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good recognition of being.
Right. The thing is, Saturn Dasha has just started. It's not just like Jupiter Dasha saw up and down also. Saturn Dasha can also see a downfall and again and up. So let us keep that option open. We don't know for sure. It is only how many years? 3 years now. There is another 16 years of this Dasha left. So we don't really know what will happen in the Saturn Dasha. But in Saturn, a fall. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it falls from 8th house.
The Bhoga is in the 8th house. Moreover, being a bad planet in the Dashamsha, he gave a big, that too being with Mars, having an uncomfortable yoga with Mars there, a Raj Yoga, uncomfortable, not Raj Yoga, uncomfortable Duryoga with Mars, he can give a fall. And being in the Arul Lagna in finances, he can basically make him take away money of the person, right? But how is and by the way, health-wise, how is Saturn Dasha health-wise? It is probably worse than Jupiter, because in the Rashi chart, Saturn is giving the results of Jupiter, and Jupiter is the Bhadakesha in Gandanta. Whenever Bhadakesha is in Gandanta, it's not a pretty thing. So Saturn Dasha is actually more risky. And if you look at Shashtamsha, how is Saturn? He's not that bad. He is the Lagna Lord. He is in the 7th house. And being the Lagna Lord in Shashtamsha is not really good. He is basically in charge of all the ill health of the person. So he is actually not that good. Probably he is worse than Jupiter. Jupiter is giving master results like we saw earlier. And let's look at the Trimshamsha. How is Saturn in Trimshamsha? How is Saturn in Trimshamsha? He is a malefic. He is the 11th and 12th Lord, and he is in the 4th house, and he is afflicting Moon and Sun. So all the three malefics, Saturn, Rahu and Ketu, are afflicting Sun and Moon. And of course, he is also afflicting the 6th Lord. So Saturn is quite bad. So Saturn Dasha, we don't expect the basic weakness that is there in the Trimshamsha, the vulnerability of the person, it is unlikely to go away in the Saturn Dasha.
But
So,
also this Grahamalika is in this, right?
right. I'm not sure how to judge the Grahamalika Yoga in Trimshamsha, let us leave it. So, but is there any danger to the life? Because he was at one point he was concerned if the person is going to, if the life is going to end soon, if the person may pass away.
Yes, okay. Will I live or not?
Right. So the question is, will I live or not? What do you think? Assuming that Lagna Vinchotri Dasha is the correct Dasha to use for this, which probably it is, what do you think? In the Rashi chart, Saturn will give Jupiter results.
Right.
And Jupiter is 7th Lord in the Gandanta. So, I mean, just based on it, he is basically a Marka. Being in Gandanta, he can actually give a problem. So, he is giving his results. So, there is some concern, right?
But Jupiter is also transiting that house right now.
Oh, forget the transit. I don't want to look at the transit now. Forget the transit. It's the 9th house from Moon. So, forget the transit. Forget the bottom line is still we are talking about 2024, not right now. Still, if you look at until 2024, this Dasha is not a really great Dasha. So there is actually a chance of passing away in this Dasha. But if you look at the Antardasha right now, what is the Antardasha running right now? Saturn, but very soon Saturn Mercury is going to start. Is there any chance of death in Saturn Mercury Antardasha? Absolutely not. even if this is not the best dasha and Chandravinshotri is the right dasha, still this is applicable with such a strong lagna. Unless there is some markatva to the Antardasha Lord, it won't happen. So in Mercury Antardasha, between 2008 March to 2010 December, is extremely unlikely that the person will pass away. Even the Bhoga is in the 10th house, not really, doesn't really promise death. So this is not really a favorable dasha as far as passing away is concerned. You can look at the next few dashas, but the thing is, even Ketu in 60 is not really a marka. Though the Bhoga falls in the 8th house, is not, you won't really call him a strong marka, right? And Venus is definitely not a marka. Even though he is second lord, he is also the 9th lord, giving a Rajoga in Lagna, he is definitely not a marka. And Sun, he is bad. He can give serious hospitalization. During Sandasha, he may be limited to a room or hospital or something, because he is badly afflicted in the 12th house. But marka is unlikely. Moon is a marka. If you look at Moon, he is in the 8th house from Lagna, and from Saturn, the Dasha Lord, he is the 8th Lord. So he is a strong marka. So in Moon Antardasha, perhaps there is a chance. You should be cautious then. But right now, and definitely in the next 2 years, it's very unlikely. Right? Does everybody agree?
Right.
So the strongest chance is probably in 2006-2007 time frame. Sorry, 2016-2017 time frame. But definitely right now, the chance is very, very limited. Actually, what I said, 2006-2007 time frame is also, Saturn is also very of great concern, but that is over. So the next strong phase is in 2016-2017, another 10 years. So until then, there is no chance. So his father was very concerned about whether he will live or not. My feeling is he may be suffering. Unfortunately, I don't see an end to suffering. Saturn is giving a lot of suffering. But I do see him living for another 8-9 years. Right? Now, how about the finances? Can they improve? What do we honestly think? And we will give remedies. We will wrap up in the next 5 minutes. If there are any further follow-up questions, we can take up in the next class. And even if you are not here, we can still continue the chart. So we will do in the next class. I will wrap up in 5 minutes. So let us make a quick prognosis for the financial position, and we will see Sri PVR etc. later. But just based on the yes, because you are focused on the current. Okay. How is the Sri PVR? Who is the Hora Lord? Mars. Mars is the ruler of the year. Pardon me? He is in 8th house in D10. Okay. So 7th Lord is in the 8th house.
Moon problem started.
Pardon me?
Problem started from Moon.
Moon Dasha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Mars is not better either.
Yeah. Mars now.
Yeah, Mars is also not better because he is the Maraka Badhaka Lord. So Badhaka Lord and 7th Lord together in the 8th house. Not really a great combination.
Good part is just a few days also.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is, if you see this particular year, Mars and Moon in the 8th house, Sun, Jupiter and Ketu in the 8th house, 12th Lord Jupiter is in the 12th house with Badhaka Lord Ketu, but that is not bad. And 8th Lord Sun in Manakarka Sthana there. So there is a lot going on in the 12th house. So there is a big loss as far as profession is concerned. And if you look at Hora, how is Hora? Mars is the Lagna Lord in the 7th house. And yeah, he is in Manakaka Sana. Moreover, 8th Lord in the 7th. 8th Lord in the 7th shows death. It's basically death in that particular area of life. So there is some death in the financial life during this Mars period, unfortunately. And also, if you see whether he will get a new direction for financial life, what should I do now? With whatever money I have, should I do this, or should I start a business? To see that, in this particular year's chart, the 4th house gives direction. So for your financial life, the direction is from 4th house. UL is there, which is a bad Arudha, last, and Mercury, 3rd and 6th Lord. He's a functional malefic, right? He's in the 4th house of direction. So, and moreover, 4th Lord Moon, even though he's with Jupiter, He's in Mankarka Sthana. So overall my expectation is he may not find a direction. His finances may be in a disarray for the entire year. This whole year seems very unpromising, not so promising. Did you have any specific, when you said look at Tithi Pravesh, did you have any specific question on the Tithi Pravesh, or you wanted to just point out this?
I just want to point out
Yeah.
Okay, if everything is gone, can we do anything or will we see?
For that only I looked at the fourth house. Fourth and fifth are important. Fifth is the Poropunja and fourth is the direction, and of course ninth is also important. Ninth is not that bad, but the ninth lord is in eighth house, which shows loss of fortune. And fifth is afflicted. Sun, the fifth lord, even though he is in fifth house, he is afflicted by three enemies, especially Saturn, Rahu, Ketu.
The thing is, I have been seeing Moon PVR Astrology.
Yeah.
Yeah. His Guru will start somewhere this year.
Yeah. So you want a guidance on the next step when it should happen.
Yeah. Actually, I am under the influence that my Ravidasa starts next year, next September, and he is in 9th, 10th lord.
Yeah. We'll see yours later. Forget about yours.
Yes, okay.
But the thing is, you can't conclude based on yours that because there's a good decent data coming up.
Will it be okay now? Since Jupiter Dasa is starting, things should be fine, and your Jupiter also will start. So he thought there will be an option, but now everything changed, and Saturn now.
Saturn is continuing. We'll see Saturn Dasa and Antardasa has a little later from the point of view of career and the finances.
Can we do real estate or can we change?
We'll see. Wait. You are jumping ahead. But the thing is, fourth is not so good. Fifth is also not so good. So for taking a new bold step, and the Poropunja is not favorable, and the chance of finding a good direction in the finances is also not so good this year. So I will not advise during this year. And how is next year? How is next year? Who is the Hora Lord? Moon is the Hora Lord. He is the sixth Lord in the 10th house. 10th house shows career, 6th house shows loaning, debts. So 6th house is quite strong. Yokarka is there, 5th Lord is there. Pardon me? Yeah, he is debilitated. But Lagna Lord is in the 6th house with the 5th Lord and Yokarka Venus. And also 8th Lord, risk taker Mercury. So 6th house shows, again, 6th house shows some kind of loan, etc. And Moon, he is in the 10th house, the Lord, putting it in the career basically. So this year is actually more promising to do something, take the next step. So right now is not a promising time to take the next step, just take it easy. And if you look at the Dasamsha, who we said Hora Lord is? Moon, right? Moon is the 5th Lord of Poropunja, that is auspicious. And
exchange also.
Yeah, Mars and Moon, the 2nd and 5th Lord, resources and Poropunja are exchanging, right? And even though Venus is there, Rahu is there, which is not auspicious, overall it's not bad at all. 7th Lord is also there. So next year some resources may be arranged. So after this September, after this August 21, until then just take it easy. But there is a good chance of some kind of new opportunity coming up next year.
Is it real estate or still shares or construction?
Actually, real estate. Let us go back to natal chart for that. Instead of advising based on this, let us see the Hora first. See, Moon is in the 8th house, in the Hora. I'm not sure what it will be, because Mars is the 8th Lord in Lagna, affecting the 9th Lord. Mars is important for success in real estate. And also, 5th house has Ketu, and 8th house in general has Moon in Hora. So, risky gambling kind of financial investments may not be for him. 8th house is not really great. It has a Mankarka Sthana planet, and its Lord is in Lagna, affecting Lagna. So, as far as finances are concerned, it's unlikely that he will get money in a gamble kind of thing. It has to be more calculated investment. So, stocks I won't really advise for him. And now real estate, construction. For construction, there is a chance. Constructing maybe Venus is 9th Lord in the Lagna, Ketu is in the 5th house. Ketu shows constructing houses, and Venus is basically creating apartments, etc. Venus and Ketu are well placed in the D2. So that can be favorable, but stock market he should not, because now stock market seems to be doing well. If he tries to get in, when he gets in it may go down. So stock market is just gamble, and it's a bad idea. Don't put money in stock market again, but put in real estate is not a bad idea. You can get into real estate, but choose the place carefully. Place where to put the real estate, choose it carefully, because there is Mars affliction on Moon also. There may be some rash decision. So if he makes one decision, sleep on it, evaluate for another couple of weeks, and then re-evaluate it. Because Mars is with Venus there in Lagna. Mars is always, he does things in a rashness, Mars and Ketu. So some more calculation is needed. He goes by his instincts, but his instincts may be troublesome. So he needs to calculate a little more. And Chaturthamsa is the bhagya of the person. Pardon me?
Question on that.
Yes.
When that is the kind of a phase, how can the person avoid that scenario?
No.
Like 8 house shows you're gambling, that you have this Mars.
We are again going back to the question that never ends. It shows that there is that kind of nature in the person. You can tone it down. It doesn't show exactly. Well, this year he will put this many crores in stock market. It doesn't show that. He may be tempted to put those many crores, but he may put on a few lakhs. Or we don't really know the degree to which the things will happen.
No, what I was saying is when such a tendency is there.
Yeah. How can you control your
How
thing?
can you control it?
Well,
Just propitiate somebody to control it?
oh, I see, you are talking about remedies, right. Right. You can propitiate the plan. You can either propitiate that planet saying, please control that tendency. You can propitiate Mars, for example, to make the person not take risks. You can also use your intelligence. If you say, okay, I will not do this. Well, there are certain things that you can do using your willpower. But the thing is, in some situation, your willpower is useless. Then you basically pray. But this thing, don't put in stock market, maybe okay in real estate. This is something. Pardon me?
By creating awareness also some people realize.
Yes, exactly. So now, actually I wanted to end, but let me just spend one more minute. Any reminder, just send a mail, in case you are not coming next week. Just send a mail, we'll take it up in the next class and finish it off. But what I want to say is, before we go off, just an advice. One word I will say is, this year looks quite bad, but from the end of this year, especially next year, some good things may happen, and the life may again fall in some kind of track. It may not be satisfactory, but it will be progress compared to the last several years.
Still in the next year, Moon is affected by Rahu and Sun by Ketu.
Right. Right.
That means the finances coming from a loan and again they will be lost.
Well, finances, you see the Hora. In Hora, we didn't see any loss. We saw borrowing money.
But Sun is with 5th Lord, Sun with Ketu.
Right.
So again at the end of it, maybe.
Well, you can't really say like that. One second, let me go back. Who is with Ketu?
Sun is with
Next year's chart. Who is with Ketu? Sun is with Ketu. Sun is the 7th Lord. Sun is the 7th Lord, right? So, but my point is, because the Lagna Lord Saturn is with Jyotish Venus and 5th Lord. Lagna Lord, 4th Lord and 5th Lord and 9th Lord. They are together in the 6th house. 6th house is very strong. 6th house shows loaning money, debts, etc. So, because great Jyotish are there, he may actually be able to generate that money. And because that Lord Moon is in the 10th house, he may put it relating to the carry.
They are also aspect in 4th house, so you may get a good direction to put it in.
They are all, yes. Actually, 4th Lord is quite strong, involved in yoga. So, there will be better clarity then. Right now, there won't be clarity. Now, with the 7th Lord being with Ketu can mean some problem with 7th house. So, 7th house shows partners, etc. So, as far as financial investments are concerned, some partners may give some trouble. Somebody you wanted to be a partner with may decide, no, I don't want to partner you, I'm done. So some problems relating to partnership is indicated, but you can't say that things will basically reduce to ashes just because Ketu is with the Sun or with Moon. Now, propitiation. Is there any devata that you can propitiate? Pardon me?
what field might be better? Real estate.
Real estate is one good thing, but if you see the thing is right now, She is running Saturn Dasha based on the Lagna Vimshottari.
So we are decided the time.
We still don't know. We haven't rectified, but we have worked around it. The charts that we are interested in are fine, but still we don't know the pakka time. So Lagna Vimshottari calculations may be off by a month or so as a result of it, right? So if you see the Saturn Dasha right now, Saturn Uchanta Dasha is running, Mercury is running, right? And if you look at the D10, Mercury is in the 7th house. 8th lord of gambling in the 7th house of business. So there is a potential for something, some new business in the Mercury Antardasha. What field is good? So right now Saturn is going on. Saturn is with Mars in the 8th house and Mercury is also there. So what is the area? What do you guys think? It has to do with Saturn, Mars and Mercury.
Saturn is civil engineering. So
Yeah. Saturn can show all these machines, etc. used in civil engineering, and Mars can show lands, etc. And Mercury can show finances, dealing with money basically. So something to do with putting money in construction.
Mercury in 7, stopping everything from profession, any profession and all.
That is also possible, theoretically. Theoretically, that is also possible. Theoretically, that's possible, but the thing is, this is just the Antardasha, this is not a Dasha, right? And the thing is, Saturn is, at the end of the day, like she said earlier, that is a good point. Saturn is in the 6th from Arudha Lagna. So during such a Dasha, is it possible that somebody will be seen as somebody who basically lost out and just sat without doing anything? Unlikely. Such an image, he will give the image of a bold fighter, Saturn with Mars, two negative energies fighting with each other in the 6th house from Arudha Lagna. Shows somebody who is seen as a violent fighter in career. So, that image, he may need a couple of years to summon the energy again and to do something. But the thing is, with such a Saturn, even though he is in the 8th house from Arudha Lagna giving a Duryoga, with such a Saturn, he is unlikely to sit idle. So, my expectation is sometime next year, something else may come up and slowly he may be able to build it. But for two things I will suggest are, for his health.
And the remedial part, because of Saturn,
Yeah.
you should do Namakam on every day.
For Saturn you can say Namakam, but also Saturn and Mars combination. Mars is also there. For Mars you can say Hanuman. Even for Saturn, Hanuman is very helpful. So for Saturn Mars combination in Mercury sign, I strongly suggest Hanuman. So do something very, because the afflictions are very severe, do something very severe. Not a small scale, like reading Hanuman Chalisa 54 times every day, or reading Hanuman Chalisa 108, which is even more difficult. But I think 54 is a good target. 11 is too small. It won't do much. But if you do Hanuman Chalisa 54 times or 108 times every day, it takes some time, but if you put that time, the bad karmas that are shown as bad combinations in the chart, to burn them, you have to put more effort. Small effort is not sufficient. So every day in the morning, read Hanuman Chalisa 54 times. Do it indefinitely.
Can he listen because
Yes.
He cannot sit?
Well, somebody else can do for him. Somebody else, if you have any brothers or mother, anybody basically, on his behalf, if somebody can read it, just sit down, don't move as much as possible, sit still. Of course, for 1 hour or 2 hours, it will be difficult, so move a little bit in the middle, but in general, try to be still as much as possible with a straight back. Close your eyes, imagine Hanuman, and do Hanuman Chalisa 54 times every day. Like that, do 108 days, or if possible, continue for a year or so. My feeling is, if he really does that, that is probably sufficient. If he does 1 year, 54 times Hanuman Chalisa every day, that can get his career back on track. Even financially. Now, let us see the health in general without looking at any chart. For health, Lagna Lord is very important. Mercury is the Lagna Lord. He is in Lagna, so that is the saving grace. Even though Jupiter is in Gandanta. So of course praying to Mercury, which is read Vishwasana, is a good thing. But praying to the one who is actually giving trouble is more important than praying to the one who is good anyway. So Jupiter in Gandanta, definitely Shiva. So Mrityunjaya mantra. So for
Mrityunjaya Homam has been done and
Yes.
every day he listens to
Get as much Mrityunjaya Homam done as possible. Do as much Mrityunjaya Homam as possible. Pardon me?
Is it also usable if they are not done in Gandhanta Shanti before?
Yeah.
To
Oh,
get it done anytime soon?
actually, have you done Gandhana Shanti before?
for Jupiter. I guess while
Okay. If they haven't done, never too late. Not a bad idea to do Gandhana Shanti, that is one thing. And the second thing is, do Mrityunjaya Homam as frequently as possible and listen to Mrityunjaya Mantra as frequently as possible. That is as far as health is concerned. But I am not hopeful that in the near future health will improve. All we can do is limit the damage. But Mrityunjaya Mantra can help you limit the damage. But financially, if he does the thing, I am hopeful that next year we will see some positive turn of events. Okay.
one more thing. In Navamsa, the
Yeah.
Devata in Dhanna,
Yeah.
that went from Sun is Atmakarta.
Yeah.
And I am unable to make out who is out of the three.
Out of those three, who will be better? Okay.
Moon or Mars.
What do you guys think? Bottom line is, no, who should be the Ishta Devata? Who will give moksha? First is, what?
Durga will
Moon with Mars and Rahu is basically a malefic form of, not malefic, sorry, but a fierce form of the mother. Moon is mother, divine mother, Mars and Rahu. So very fierce form like Chandi, Chamundi, like that. She is a Mahavidya. Yeah, Chinamasta is also possible. But something like Chandipatam, for example, is Durga Saptasati. That is actually very good for spiritual progress. But he can worry about it later, maybe a few years down the road.
And regarding the Jupiter,
Regarding Jupiter meaning?
Palma Devata.
Oh, yeah, 1 second.
From Moon.
Sun is, Amatyakarka is Moon. The sixth lord is Jupiter, right? So Jupiter is with Ketu. And he is the Palma Devata. So which god? Jupiter can be Shiva, but Jupiter is with Ketu. Which one will you suggest? You can suggest either Jupiter or Ketu, as far as the Palna is concerned. Which one do you think is better? Ketu is the second lord from Amatyakarka, and he is with the sixth lord. So second lord and sixth lord are both together. You can suggest either of them, but my take is give preference to Jupiter rather than Ketu, and pray to Shiva. But not the Mrityunjaya mantra, some other mantra for Shiva. So Shiva is the Devata to worship for financial success, but
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya is good. But what I suggest is forget about Devata, Palna Devata. Those are not that important at this stage. What is really important is let him do Hanuman Jalisa, like I said, 54 times every day. Let somebody do on his behalf 54 times Hanuman Jalisa every day for 1 year. And let Mrityunjaya Mantra and Mrityunjaya Homam be done in his vicinity as frequently as possible. That will keep his health reasonable. But professionally, he may bounce back. He may get a new opportunity sometime next year. And further, doing some remedy for Hanuman is very, 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 very useful. And real estate is acceptable. And what else can be done, we'll see again later. But real estate is acceptable. That will be fine for him. But definitely, construction is fine. But definitely not stock market. Stock market is not at all lucky for him. Don't put any money in stock market again. Okay. So with that, we will end the class for today. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Finally.